Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you guys how I use buttercream to create a sharp edge look to my cakes. What you see me doing here is removing the plastic from my buttercream. Here's the buttercream that I made earlier today. Here I'm going to apply a dab of buttercream to the center of this 12-inch cake board. There I'm applying the 8-inch round foam cake. No, I am not using a real cake for this demonstration. However, I am using the best buttercream there is. I make my own buttercream and it's so delicious. Apply your next layer to your cake, and of course during this stage your cake is cut and leveled, so you're going to have some crumbs with your cake at this stage right here. Applying the first coat of buttercream to your cake is called a crumb coat. The reason it's called a crumb coat is because you will get crumbs within your buttercream as you are applying the first coat. After you apply the first coat, in which it doesn't need to be thick or perfect, you will smooth it out and put it in the refrigerator to set. You want it to set, or put it in the freezer. You want it to set long enough so when you touch it, it's dry to the touch. What you see me doing here is using my spatula to smooth out the crumb coat layer of the buttercream. What you want to do, you want to make sure that you are slightly slanting your spatula towards you as you are turning the cake board. Try to keep your hand that's holding the spatula still. Try not to move it. Use your opposite hand to turn the cake board. Wipe your spatula as needed. I like to use running hot water, but as you can tell, I'm not near my sink. So I have damp paper towels next to me. Make sure you clean up the edges of your cake board. Crumb coat is done. After it has set, now it's time to add the second layer of buttercream. With this layer, you want to make sure that you add a thick coat to this layer. Try to apply it at least 1 inch thick. You can apply it as thick as you like, because you can always smooth it out and take off any excess that you don't want. next step, I like to add a nice amount to the top of the cake first. Then I take my spatula and start applying the buttercream from the bottom of the cake all the way, making my way around. Then I make my way to the top. Okay, now after applying the amount of buttercream that you want to your cake, the next step is to smooth out the cake, out the buttercream, and taking off any excess buttercream you don't want. Using the same method you did with the crumb coat, tilt your spatula slightly towards you. Try not to move your hand that's holding the spatula, and turn the cake stand with the opposite hand. You will have, it may not look like anything the first time, the first 2 or 3 spins, but take your time, keep going using the same method. You will have to fill in any gaps or any holes that you see after smoothing out the buttercream. Fill in those gaps, fill in those holes, and again, use the spatula tilted slightly towards you and turn. Keep doing that method until it smooths out. If you haven't noticed, what you see me doing after I take off the excess buttercream, I am applying it back into the mixer bowl with the rest of the buttercream. You can do this when you're applying the second coat of buttercream. You can put it back into the mixer or the bowl with your buttercream in it. I do not recommend you to do this with the first coat, which is the crumb coat. Do not put back into the bowl your crumb coat buttercream. It's going to ruin your buttercream for the second layer. You do not want to see any crumbs on the second layer of your buttercream. Okay, here I am pointing out some gaps or holes that need to be filled in, and I'm just going to simply apply more buttercream into those areas that need to be filled in. Okay, to smooth out the top of your cake, take your spatula from the edge in. Pull from the edge in towards you, towards the middle of the cake. I've noticed that if you are using hot water to clean off your spatula, the heat, when you heat up your spatula, it smooths out the buttercream so much better. And I do recommend that your cake board be at least 4 inches wider than your cake. If your cake is 8 inches like mine, I recommend you get a 12-inch cake board. Go ahead and clean up any buttercream that may have fallen on your cake board prior to you putting it back in the freezer or the refrigerator to set. All right, this is the final stage of getting a sharp edge look to your cake using buttercream. I use an X-Acto knife because the cake is frozen. If you put it in the freezer, dry to the touch, you are able to use an X-Acto knife or a regular knife. It doesn't have to be an X-Acto knife. That's just what I have and like to use. And start from the edge of the cake, of course, just like you did when you use your spatula to smooth out the buttercream. Hold your wrist still and turn the cake board, the cake stand, with your opposite hand. So again, apply the X-Acto knife or the regular knife, whichever one you have, to the edge of the cake. Use the opposite hand to turn the cake board. Once you remove any excess buttercream you don't want, go ahead and pull it off and put it in the trash or the bowl or whichever you have. Keep doing this method until you achieve the sharpness of your cake that you want. have come to the end of this buttercream sharp edge with buttercream crash course. This cake is now ready to be decorated. If you guys are interested in seeing me decorate this cake, comment below.